Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Prime Time Newscast in the English language on Canal International. We'll begin with our top stories. The newly appointed Senior Divisional Officer of Wuri has been officially commissioned into his function today by Littoral Governor with a mission to rebuild the image of the Wuri Division, suffering from growing urban disorder, insecurity, land conflicts, and a lot more. In this edition, we'll tell you more about the assignments of the newly installed SDO of Wuri. Plus, we are less than a week to the Youth Day celebration in Cameroon. In today's edition, we focus on youth projecting their know-how and telling their story in the form of exhibition at the Youth Village Esplanade at the Municipal Stadium in Yaoundé. And in the edition, we equally tell you the story of an 18-year-old boy declared dead a week ago but resurrected and was found sitting on a chair. The mystery of how he got out of the mortuary remains unexplained. Plus, supporters of Super Eagles of Nigeria are preparing themselves in an all-excitement to witness the semi-finals match against Bafana of South Africa. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. Welcome to this edition of the Prime Time Newscast, the English language on Canal International. Begin the news by telling you the mysterious resurrection and subsequent death of a young boy. The 18-year-old boy who had been declared dead a week ago was discovered seated in a chair dressed immaculately. The circumstances surrounding his presence and the mystery of how he got there remains unexplained. More with our student journalist on internship, Christy Ayari.
The story of the young boy's alleged resurrection at the Sebek Hospital mortuary in Bonaberi sparked widespread attention, with crowd gathering to witness the remarkable event. Despite being pronounced dead and laid in the mortuary 8 days prior, the boy was reportedly found alive, sitting in front of the mortuary, captivating the onlookers with disbelief and wonder.
Il était environ 3 heures du matin.
It was around 3 a.m. in the morning when the vision caught my attention that someone carried his chair. On trying to approach the person to ask him why he took the chair without permission, the lights of this environment all went off. That was when I asked for them to come with my phone. On trying to point the torch, I discovered the guy's eyes were closed. I immediately recovered that this was a young man that was born last week Sunday. With panic, I immediately rushed inside where I kept his body to find out if he was truly the one. On opening, I didn't see him, confirming that he was the one outside.
Il s'est retrouvé là dehors, bien habillé, il est assis dans une chaise.
Dressed in pristine white attire, young Kevin uttered a single word before seemingly returning to the room of the deceased, as recounted by the night watchman.
Ce qu'il a dit, c'est Anne.
What he said was, "Anne, you promised me." That was when I rushed to go and call the mortuary attendant. The incident has only served to intensify the grief and confusion within the family. I am scandalized. I don't know anything. I have never seen such thing. I didn't even have the courage to touch him. I don't really know what happened. The police just called me that, "Madam, your child is outside." Investigations are currently going on to see to this extraordinary occurrence.
Wuri, one of the largest divisions in the littoral region, is poised for transformation as a newly appointed senior divisional officer for Wuri has been officially installed into his functions by littoral governor with rampant incidents of robbery, rapes, attacks coupled with issues like illegal clinics and unregulated motorcycle sector. SDO, the newly installed SDO of Wuri, faces a daunting task. Let's hear more in the following story.
Voici votre nouveau préfet.
Vogosi has officially taken the command baton as new senior divisional officer for the Wuri. He takes over a division considered as one of the largest, facing significant security challenges, including rampant robberies, rapes, and attacks by a group known as the Microbe. Besides this, is an unbearable urban disorder marked by piles of waste on every street corner and the emergence of clandestine clinics in dilapidated structures. During the installation ceremony on February 6, 2023, Littoral Governor emphasized the urgency of addressing these issues.
We have to work according to the text, according to the rules of the Republic. So I'm telling him to be to stay away of people that are coming to just embarrass him. You have to just do his work and he will succeed.
The newly installed senior divisional officer for Wuri was urged to combat corruption and prioritize an administration of proximity, bringing governance closer to the people. Sons and daughters are notable for Villa, where the new SDO previously served, attended the ceremony, expressing confidence in his ability to tackle the challenges ahead.
I call on for you to collaborate with us. Together, we are going to do our best.
The 53-year-old newly installed senior divisional officer for Wuri has a wealth of experience, having held various positions as divisional officers first and senior divisional officer, and then now succeeds Benjamin Buto, who goes on retirement. As the Wuri division grapples with its complex problems, the task at hand is described as substantial, with high expectations from both residents and the wider region. And Cameroonian youths are projecting their know-how and telling their stories in the form of exhibition at the Youth Village at the Esplanade of the Mispo Stadium in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. The Youth Village, now a yearly tradition, is part of activities to mark this year's 58th edition of National Youth Day celebration come February 11. More with our reporter Beatrice Ngamu.
The Youth Village, a place to showcase the prowess of Cameroonian youths like interest in the made-in-Cameroon products. Protecting the environment via green jobs, TIATIC.
We fight against plastic waste. Second, we fight against deforestation. Thirdly, we fight against unemployment. By creating green jobs, this is the future of Africa, future of the world.
The process is simple, especially for this nature-friendly plantain stem handbags.
Fall down plantain stems, then we chop them into little pieces, then we boil. After boiling, we grind them, then we sieve them, and we get these products.
The Youth Village tells a story of hope that Cameroonian youths can, if they dare, add in value and transforming local products. This will
improve import substitution because a lot of products are imported. But if youths wake up and start producing their own products, it will reduce the importation and it will increase our financial capacity.
It is also a place for career and job orientation, training the youths on how to develop entrepreneurial skills and managing business, alongside sensitization on swimming skills and techniques to avoid drowning.
Water is good, but what are the main ways for you to do that you need to get into water? Help people to know better the precaution to take for when they find themselves into that situation.
Socioeconomic and socio-cultural activities, display of Cameroonian dishes, craftsworks, traditional bracelets with cowries and other accessories, the many different activities at the Youth Village, all around the theme of this year's National Youth Day celebration. Come February 11, youth, import substitution, and economic patriotism for Cameroon's development.
And barely 5 days to Youth Day celebrations in Cameroon, schools are intensifying march past rehearsals as they prepare to take part in the traditional exercise come February 11, which is on Sunday. Most streets of the capital city were busy this Tuesday with different schools out for such rehearsals. Get more of that echoes with our reporter, Hyson Chan.
The little ones leading the march past at the front with the practice of beautiful majorette, as the rest follow with calculated steps along this street at the Tudi neighborhood in Yaoundé, singing patriotic songs at the top of their voices. The rehearsals, under the coordination of their teachers, who emphasize on the message of peace and oneness as Cameroonians brace up to celebrate the 58th edition of the National Youth Day on Sunday, February 11.
We have to show peace. We are talking about, let us talk about the Southwest and the Northwest region. So we want us to be one. That's how we talk about the bilingualism. We talk about the multiculturalism. Today, we are doing this thing today to show the public that we are SEC, we the school are SEC Tudi. We are informing the public that on Sunday will be the 11th of February. So we should all be together, come back together. Anglophone, Francophone, they are one.
The students and pupils adhering to instructions as they seek to fine-tune their body, legs and arm movement before the D-Day.
And the town of Garoua in the north region of Cameroon has a new facelift as sustainable urban development initiatives are progressing rapidly. The Minister of Urban Development and Housing was in the town to assess the level of work this far. More with our reporter Gladys Ambu Ziba.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Celestin Cliquez, was in Garoua in the north region of Cameroon as part of monitoring cooperation projects, particularly those of the Debt Reduction and Development Contract C2D Urban Regional Capitals Program, as well as other projects financed by the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing. Accompanied by the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, Dr. Tiger, both ministers visited all the projects currently being implemented in the city of Garoua.
For the mobility in Garoua, Garoua now is a beautiful city, it's a beautiful town, and we have seen that the project C2D with AFD has been completed.
The member of government was elated with work carried out at the Garoua-Gashiga Road, at the Petit Paris neighborhood. A new road has been created and work there is progressing normally, indicating ongoing infrastructural improvement in the area. At the Garoua livestock and fish market, solutions to the problems encountered with a view to completing the work are discussed. Work at the market is not encouraging, unlike the Yelwa market, where it is progressing normally.
We are looking to see how to complete the big market for fish and animals, to make sure that within the end of this year, all the projects of this partnership, win-win partnership with France, should be completed and inaugurated. So I will be happy to be back here in March to see how people are using all this beautiful infrastructure.
The working session with all the actors involved in the project made it possible to examine the updated schedules of the contracting firms and dates set for the completion of work.
The annual work plan and budget of the Lake Chad Region Recovery and Development Project for 2022 has been adopted. The 18 billion franc CFA will be used to pursue development projects to the benefits of the local population. The Far North region, and precisely the Logon and Shari division, is a beneficiary. More in the following story.
The Lake Chad Region Recovery and Development Project, dubbed PROLAC, is a project that focuses on the development of the population most impacted by the Boko Haram crisis, as well as natural catastrophes in the 4 concerned countries: Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria. The 3rd ordinary session of the steering committee meeting to assess the ongoing fiscal and financial activities held in Yaoundé. At the end of the deliberation, the committee, chaired by the Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Development, validated the documents submitted and adopted the annual work plan and budget for 2024 to the tune of 18 billion CFA francs, up from 16 billion last year.
Out of the 18 billion, nearly 8 billion are dedicated to rural mobility, the creation of roads to allow the movement of peoples and goods, as well as the creation of major infrastructure to allow population to be able to earn livelihoods, such as market, transborder trade with Chad, as well as creating opportunity for youth to participate in local intensive public work schemes.
The Far North region, and specifically the Logon and Shari division, is involved in this development project. The governor salutes the effort this far. I can then say the PROLAC, in a very short time, have done a very great job. The Lake Chad Region Recovery and Development Project is part of the Special Presidential Plan for the Reconstruction and Development of the Far North region. The Cameroon component is jointly funded by the government and the World Bank.
Leaders of the Com community in Yaoundé have called on the population to remain united and committed towards community development and nation building. They made the calls over the weekend as they gathered to celebrate culture and sports. More on the story with our reporter Hyson Cha.
A moment of communion and fraternity for the Com population in Yaoundé as they celebrate unity through their rich cultural display with the famous Njang. Not forgetting the different masquerades and beautiful manifestations. They come together at the Mateko Stadium on Saturday, January 3rd, was an occasion to leave skillful local footballers as they battle at the final of the tournament, marking a transition at the helm of the Komkuda Association.
Since they knew that today was the end of my mandate, they decided to come and send me off. So it's just a kind of animation that they always perform at the end of any ceremony. I wanted the Com sons who are playing football to come out and then showcase their talents. Because we don't know. You can play today, tomorrow you'll find yourself in Europe.
An event presided at by the Divisional Officer for Yaoundé 3, Serge Yves Biweli, who preached the message of peace and living together.
And we talk sports of football. AFCON supporters of Super Eagles of Nigeria are preparing themselves in all excitement to witness the semi-final match against the Bafana of South Africa. As student journalist Christy Aya visited some Nigerians residents in the city of Douala has story.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria are set for the semi-finals of the AFCON tournament against the Bafana of South Africa. Super Eagles fans are showing unwavering support.
There's match tomorrow. The both team will play. But anyhow, there's a master. Super Eagles is a master. there's no match there. Super Eagle will win them. Because if you send a Super Eagle before, I myself, I don't look the Super Eagle match. But for the turn up, then can prepare for the match. Now I know that they will go final.
It will be a tough match because they have already played 7 matches, 4 draw. Nigeria have won 2 times, and South Africa once, and they do 4 draw.
We are winning that match because if you look at we have played them on so many occasions. Statistically, we have an upper hand against the Bafana of South Africa. So tomorrow, by the grace of God, I'm expecting our guys to give us victory against Bafana.
This shares a focus of the match.
You know, Nigeria, they are used to the pattern of, their pattern of play in this Nations Cup. They don't score much goal. When they score 1 goal, they defend the goal. That's the pattern they play. So I believe tomorrow's match is not going to end 1-0, but 2-0. I'm quite sure.
Nigeria is winning that match with 3-0.
Nigeria have team. I don't see draw. So I think that Nigeria will win that match with 2-0.
The two teams have faced each other on 14 occasions, with the first encounter dating back to 1992. Their last encounter was during the 2019 edition of AFCON in Egypt. The highly anticipated clash between the Super Eagles and the Bafana is scheduled for Wednesday, February at 6 p.m.
And that was a package we had for you. Thanks so much for watching. Another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.
Canal International.